From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and welcome to your MTN Noon News for this Wednesday. I'm Hailey, Monaco. We begin with an ongoing investigation in the Bighorn Mountains. The FAA is investigating a deadly plane crash that happened Monday night in the Bighorn National Forest. A 13-year-old girl was killed and 3 others seriously injured in the crash, all members of the same family. MTN's Charlie Kleps has more.
Well, we don't know much about those involved in Monday's plane crash. We do know that a 13-year-old girl named Amelia Palmer was killed. We also know that her 3 family members who were also on board were seriously injured, with 2 of them taken to hospitals here in Billings.
In Dayton, Wyoming, crashed with 1 fatality.
That was the heartbreaking news coming out of the Bighorn Mountains Monday night.
This was certainly a tragedy,
as a small plane crash killed at least one 13-year-old Amelia Palmer and left 3 others injured.
I go to this page every day to look up details from an official source.
For longtime commercial pilot Robert Katz, these tragic crashes are something he studies closely. His employer has asked him not to appear on camera, but he shared with us how he reviews these incidents.
First and foremost, the airplane was built in 1965, 60 years ago.
Katz says this is the aircraft that crashed and believes its age could have been a factor, along with the weight of the plane and how many people were on board and how close to the mountains the plane was flying.
It's entirely possible it was very close to gross weight, if not over its limit. That's going to affect its climb performance.
Katz says it's alarming how often these crashes are occurring. There have been 145 nationwide in just the past 2 weeks, including this crash Sunday in Red Lodge. And earlier this summer, another right outside Billings, killing Yellowstone County Commissioner John Oslin.
The circumstances of all of these incidents are, for the most part, preventable.
While it's still unclear what led to Monday's crash or whether any mistakes were made, Katz says it's a reminder of what can go wrong and why safety in the skies is so important.
The destination is the goal, but the expectation must always be to divert.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Flight records do provide a few more details about Monday's crash. We know the plane crashed 8 minutes after departing Sheridan County Airport. According to FlightAware, the plane took off at 4:02 Monday afternoon and crashed at 4:10 after reaching an altitude of 6,300 feet. The plane, a 1965 single-engine Piper Cherokee, is registered to a Sheridan man, and recent flight logs show multiple trips between Sheridan and Boise, Idaho in the past week. Now, the uncle of the teen who was killed thanked people for prayers on the Sheridan County Facebook page of the sheriff, saying it will be a long recovery for the family. He says his nephew, who is 11, had relatively minor injuries in comparison to the others and was able to make the emergency call despite the radio having a broken antenna. Now, Michael Brown, the man prosecutors say gunned down 4 people in an Anaconda bar, is expected back in court today. MTN's John Amy visited the Owl Bar the day before this expected appearance after the business quietly reopened last week.
After a gunman killed 4 people in the Owl Bar, this Anaconda watering hole was back open for business. They received great support from the community and other bars in the state. But the owner said personally, he has good and bad days. The Owl Bar was open for business the day before Michael Brown was expected to be charged in connection with a mass shooting at the bar on August 1st. Brown faces 4 felony counts of deliberate homicide, 1 felony count of attempted arson and theft, and a misdemeanor charge of fleeing from police. The owner of the bar, David Gwerder, didn't want to speak on camera, but told MTN News he reopened his bar on August 23rd. He thanked those in the community and around the state who showed support during this difficult time. Gwerder added he will be at Brown's arraignment hearing. Brown is accused of entering the bar on the morning of August 1st and fatally shooting patrons David Leach, Daniel Bailey, Tony Palm, and bartender Nancy Kelly. A week-long manhunt followed before Brown was arrested by authorities in a trailer just west of Anaconda. Brown remains jailed in Butte. Anaconda resident Alan Rankich lives near the Owl Bar.
I'm glad to see them open, because I'm not a beer drinker, I don't drink, but at the same time, I want to see them do good.
Like many residents in this small town, Rankich said the mass shooting was a shock.
I was kind of scared, for my family, and because we had no idea where he went, and not only that, but what do? You keep your doors locked, you can watch out the window, and for days and days and days. This is a peaceful town, and the last time I heard a gunshot was probably hunting season last year,
A memorial benefit for the bar and its victims will be held at the Owl Bar on September 27th. The event will raise money for a plaque to honor the 4 shooting victims. In Anaconda, John Amy, MTN News.
Well, taking a live look outside, and Helena, I know that there are mountains here. I've seen them before, but all the haze and smoke coming in from Canada, not letting us see that. But aside from that, a lot of blue sky above the haze and smoke. Currently 73 degrees right now in Helena. Then we head over to Missoula. Actually, this is our background image, but we also have a lot of haze as we're looking toward the M Mountain, and also 75 degrees right now in Missoula, 76 degrees in Butte, a little bit of haze, but a lot of sunshine above that. Then we head over to Billings, hazy sky as well. But some of the worst air quality right now is both in Helena and Great Falls. Your forecast coming up.
The Trump administration is taking steps to repeal a rule that protects millions of acres of national forest land from logging and development. That includes here in Montana. MTN's Zach Volheim is looking into the proposed changes.
I think we've managed to preserve a lot of forests, a lot of wilderness, a lot of wildlife by not adding roads to a already very extensive road-covered forest. So I think we should keep it.
With the proposed rule change, some fear that the serenity of the forest may be taken away.
Really undermining, taking away all the protections we had for wild areas, wilderness, or even just primitive areas.
The Roadless rule was enacted in 2001 by the U.S. Forest Service.
The Roadless rule goes back decades, and it does protect forests from a lot of human incursion.
Steve Running is a former University of Montana forest ecology and climate professor, and he has been closely watching the repeal process. He saw the original need for the rule as it was during a time when the logging industry was busy within the national forest, often with poor forest management practices.
I've found that the Roadless rule is a useful way of keeping unnecessary roads from being built.
For forest managers like Aaron Clark, Strategic Development and Partnerships Director for Montana Forest Consultants, the proposed repeal comes at a time when it may not be a priority worth pursuing.
In the forest management space, road packages in forest projects are not often what we're really interested in. They add a lot of cost to forest management projects, and from the operator side of things, for loggers and forest consulting companies like ours, they often increase the complexity and reduce the value of the project works.
The repeal is currently in public comment until September 19th. You can find information on where to comment on our website. In Missoula, I'm Zach Volheim, MTN News.
We reached out to Montana's congressional delegation for their thoughts on the proposed repeal. Senator Steve Daines' office writes in part, quote, "This is another huge win for Montana and forest management and shows that the Trump administration is committed to Montana first priorities. By rolling back the outdated roadless rule, we'll be better equipped to manage our Montana forests and protect our communities." Senator Tim Sheehy echoed many of those statements statements, adding, quote, "This is another act of common sense leadership from the Trump administration to help fix our wildfire crisis, improve forest management, and unleash Montana's resource economy." You can read their full statements and those from Congressman Ryan Zinke and Troy Downing on our website.